So let's talk about which platform is the best for marriage. And when I say best in quotations, it is extremely subjective. And so I want to kind of talk about um, what's the best one for you, how to go about it, how to see it in a different way so that it doesn't become exhausting. Because the truth is, every platform is neutral until you have a thought about it. You have thoughts about it of what is good, what is bad, what's exhausting, what's not. Because also I work with a lot of people who are trying to get married, and people do get married off of the apps. Like let's not dismiss that. And I want you to see it as the apps is just a place where there are a bunch of humans. Now, what can get exhausting is when you're having thoughts every time you open up the app and you're scrolling and you're having thoughts like, oh, there's no men out here. There's like all the good men are taken. There's nothing here. And every time you open it, all of the insecurities come up that will create exhaustion. And when you're coming from a place of shame and exhaustion, you're going to match with people who are not good for you because you're coming from desperateness. And so what creates a platform to be good and bad is not, it's actually not about the platform in any way. It is actually about your mindset and your energy and all of that and how you go about the process, because that is what actually creates it's what actually creates the results. So I'll give you an example. Before I got married, I had this belief about apps where I was like, where I thought I was too good for it. I thought I was too good for apps. I don't want to put my picture out there because like it's just embarrassing. I don't want people to know that I actually like I'm looking for marriage. Why would I want people to know that, right? But when I'm focusing on my purpose is to become the best version of myself, I want to be someone that gets over their ego and puts myself out there just so I can train myself to not worry about what people think of me. Okay? When that was my intention, I put myself out there and I approached the whole dating apps from a place of like, let me see what I can learn from this and let me see who's out there and who I can meet. And when I'm having that perspective, it's very easy to weed out people who are not good for me because I'm in the mindset of like, I'm here to grow. And so every little trigger that came up for me while I'm on the apps was a great opportunity for me to see what I need to still work on. So then the problem with people, with a lot of people, is um, they go on the apps, they see people they don't like, and they make the conclusion that all of them are bad. And there's no good ones on there. When the truth is, you're looking for your needle in the haystack. You're looking for that one colored marble in the jar where everything else is not meant for you. And so when you're looking at it from that approach, it's very easy to block out anyone that's not good for you. And you're focused on the mission of like, I'm just here to go and learn and see what's out here. And so it's kind of like the analogy of like imagine going to the mall and you go into the first store and all you see is like Forever 21 shirts that have like really cliche, corny quotes on them. And every time you see one of those shirts, you just get really angry. You're just like so frustrated. Like why do these shirts exist? Like they shouldn't be here. Like they shouldn't be just. However, in Forever 21, sometimes there are some nice things if you really like, if you really look through it, because you don't have to get mad at shirts that are not yours. You just look through them and you're like, oh, that's not mine, not mine, not mine. Okay, oh, this is a nice shirt. So my point here is it becomes really exhausting when you look at it from a perspective of like, there's no one out here for me. It's not possible for me. I've tried so long. I've tried the apps. I've tried it all for so long and nothing's working. And that's just like saying like, it's like saying a store has the same clothes every season. It changes. Things change. Things come and go. People sign up, people leave, people go. Like people have thoughts like, okay, let me check out the apps. Let me see if someone's out there. And it's just a flowing kind of place where you can meet people because not everyone has the luxury of being able to go meet Muslims because, like in real life, because people do have jobs, people have don't have the community and all of that to support them. So sometimes the apps is one of the easiest ways to meet people. Now, what matters here is your intention, the way you go about it, the way you feel. And if you're coming at it from like a desperate, like exhausted energy, I would not recommend you go on there, just because that's going to also attract, and you're also just going to be like, oh my God, like this sucks. Like, and then you're just going to like hate yourself for being on it. So my point here is the exhaustion happens when you have a bunch of thoughts about the apps. The apps itself is not exhausting. How do we know this? Because there are people who are in a much more empowered state about where they're at. And I'm talking all ages. I'm not talking about, because I know people listen to this who are a little older who are telling me like, yeah, but this is only applicable to people who are younger. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying all ages where people do find their person, because they're not dependent on the app to get them the result. They're dependent on Allah. Allah will send them the result. There's a very big difference in energy when you're depending on, oh, I hope the app works. I hope like the marriage platform works. I hope like these matrimonial events work. When that's not what makes things work. It's Allah that sends you the person at the right time, at the right place. And these are just the means of like seeing how you could make it work, or seeing how to meet people, right? Because in order, one of the ways to go about this process is to put yourself out there to meet people. And when you have anxiety about that or any of that, that's one of the opportunities to work on, is to put yourself out there, to work on your to overcome your ego, and to put yourself out there, and to trust that Allah will send them at the right time, at the right place, at everything, right? And I'm saying this from a place of like, I was experienced with the apps, right? Before I met my husband, I didn't meet him off the apps. I met him at the masjid, but before that, I was on the apps, and I met some pretty good like quality potentials who were like in the same mindset as me, and there wasn't a problem with it. And I do want to recommend there's like a method called burn the haystack method, that it's like a woman on Facebook who created this group, and I'm learning about it now, but that's what I used to do in the past, which is like the process is like every time you meet someone on the apps, or anytime you see someone on the apps that you know that you're not gonna like, you just block them, like actually block the person, so that the algorithm gets you brand new people, and you expand your search and all of that. So there is a way to go about it. I might mess around and actually teach a class about this. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. But I just want to put this out there that it's not the platform, it's the way you think and feel and act. And this is what we're doing right now in my the inner shift group that's happening right now. In my group, we're talking about how to manage the shame and the guilt and the exhaustion that comes up as you're going about the search process, to help you actually feel at ease with yourself, and know, and with coming with trust of like, if Allah is sending me the person, I don't know where it's coming from, but let me just try. Let me just keep going. Let me just look. What am I learning from this person? Oh, okay, this doesn't work. Let me learn how to communicate. Let me learn how to reject in a proper human way. Let me learn how to, like, all of these things happen when you are coming from a place of like this identity of like, I know my person's out there. Let me see where he's at. Let me see where she's at. And it's kind of the same analogy as like, you don't go to the mall and you go to the first store and you don't find the jacket you're looking for. You don't just go home. You stay there and you like go, okay, let me see these other stores. Let me see what's out there. And then let's say like during that week and you're at the mall and you didn't see anything you want at all, and you've been through all the stores, you go home, the next week they have a whole new shipment coming in. They're not stagnant. When someone tells me the apps don't work, they're talking based off their own experiences of what worked and what didn't. And so I would recommend for someone who is struggling to meet people to see like, okay, in what way, if I had the first of all, do not go on there if you're exhausted and pressured and you don't know what to do. That's just a recipe for disaster, honestly. However, if you're coming at it from a place of, let me see what's out here, and let me take a look, and let me be really real on my profile, right? On my profile, let me just say what I'm looking for, right? These are my values, and this is what I'm looking for. And I would recommend you actually from the the video I talked about values and finding what you're looking for, from whatever I taught you in that, put that in your bio. Like say like this is, I'm looking for someone who values this Islam on this and how it looks, and this is what I prioritize. And when you take this seriously and you put that on the apps, you can, someone who is also serious on the same level as you will be like, oh, like this is pretty cool. Let me reach out to her. So yeah, my point here is don't let the people who have terrible experiences because they didn't work on their mindset try to influence you about what's a good platform, what's not. Everything works because Allah's the one that makes it work. It's not the platform. Do not put any like emphasis or like, oh, like this is the tool that's finally going to work. A tool, it's only a tool. It only works if you know how to use it. So make sure you're looking for your needle in the haystack, because when you're scrolling and you're focusing on like, oh, all of them could be my needle, but none of them is actually working, or like there is no needles in here, you're gonna start focusing on the haystack and try to make everyone like, it's gonna just feel like there's no one out there, when that's not the truth. You don't know what's out there. All you're seeing is, oh my God, there's like, I've I've had like 100 not matches and nothing works, and it's like this is your test. This is the test right here. How will you react when you don't get something you want right away? And that's what we're here for. We're here to be tested. Okay, so I just want to give a quick shout out right to my people in my inner shift group. We're doing amazing work, alhamdulillah. I'm so happy that people are actually changing. Some people are telling me like they feel a lot lighter. They feel a lot like, okay, I can breathe now, and they feel more clear. And if you, we already started our first meeting last Saturday, but if you still want to join, you could always join. It's on my website. And when you join, you can join the Facebook community as well. And that's where I'll be posting the replays, and you get a workbook, and you get a community to kind of like share your progress and stuff like that. And it's been really good. So come join us if you'd like. And inshallah, I'll see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.